This is Roudy Ali with women rights activist. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Honored delegates of the United Nations dear guests, it's with both deep anguish and unwavering resolve that I address this concept in this side event today regarding the ongoing plight of the Kurdish people and women situation in post-Assad Syria. According to Amnesty International's April 2025 report, the end of Bashar al-Assad's rule has not brought peace, but rather ushered in a new period of unsafety and systemic abuse in the shadows of transition. The world must awaken to the cries of the vanished, the wounded, and the displaced. In March 2025 alone, according to the Syrian Network for Human Rights report, at least 1,562 people were killed in Syria, including 102 children and 99 women. These are not abstract numbers. They are families torn apart. For some cities like Afrin, Tel Abyad, and Ras Al Ain, Kurdish communities face annihilation as abduction, confiscation of property, and target violence become daily realities. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have documented how Kurdish families endure arbitrary detention, forced displacement, and the systemic confiscation of their homes and olive groves by Turkish-backed militias. They are still in Afrin and Tel Abyad and Ras Al Ain since 2018. Local sources confirm that so-called economic officers of groups like Sultan Murad, Al-Hamzat, and Sulaiman Shah Bridge, recently rebranded under the so-called New Syrian Army, continue to impose extortion fees, size criteria of displaced Kurds, and even ban returns from harvesting their olive trees. Village leaders have been threatened, so they need a legal ownership, documents of rightness, stripping families of livelihoods and dignity. This is not governance. This is organized looting. The crimes are not only economic. They cut deep into the fabric of society. Women and girls have been the primary victims, according to gathered by local rights groups. Kurdish women in Afrin have suffered rape, sexual enslavement, and forced disappearances, many alongside their children, whose fate remains unknown. Families have received no information to this day. Forced child marriage has also spread alarmingly. Reports confirm that over 46% of Syrian refugee girls are married before age of 18. A crisis aggravated by displacement and poverty. Meanwhile, 7.3 million women and girls inside Syria are in urgent need of sexual and reproductive health services. Yet these services are systematically denied. In Turkish-controlled regions, for example, women are further subjected to harassment and violence by security forces for not wearing the hijab, stripping them of freedom of movement and the right to work. Amnesty International has also reported campaigns enforcing dress codes and closing down feminist organizations in Syria. This is not culture. This is coercion. UN experts raised alarms in July 2025 regarding the systematic abduction of Kurdish women and activists, noting a deliberate climate of fair human rights Human Rights First and local civil society organizations confirm also that women's rights defenders and community leaders live under constant threats and enforced disbursement. Despite the promises of reform, the interim government has failed to guarantee basic protections as the Oxford Human Rights View documented in March 2025. Security forces dismiss complaints, block investigation into abuses, and cultivate impunity for their personal and allied militias. Survivors cannot rely on national missionism. A transitional justice process must come from an independent body, and independent body free from the control of the currently interim authorities. Otherwise, it's meaningless. Colleagues, the Kurdish question cannot be ignored. According to the Arab Center's July 2025 analysis, Kurds remain politically marginalized, excluded from decision-making, and denied meaningful participation in shaping Syria's future. Yet without their inclusion, there can be real stability. Just peace between Kurds and Turkey, built on mutual recognition of rights and security, would not only stabilize northern Syria, but also contribute to a better peace across the entire country. Let these statistics not merely be numbers, please, but testimony to lost lives, broken families, and stolen futures from everybody. Today, the United Nations must act, not just be a witness. From the President by Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, UN, expert panels, and the Syrian Network for Human Rights, we call for an independent international investigation into enforced disappearances, torture, and gender-based violence against Kurds and women, meaningful inclusion of Kurdish and women's representatives in transitional justice, peace-building and governance structures, maintenance and expansion of sanctions against militia leaders, identified for crimes against humanity and concert steps toward their prosecution, immediate humanitarian access to Kurdish region with a priority on medical care, child protection, and women's health, robust support for survivors of abduction and sexual violence, including psychological services, housing, and reintegration programs, educational programs. It's also a very necessary measure. Fostering gender equality and ethnic inclusion to rebuild trust and social cohesion. Dear delegates, let this council today reaffirm: justice is not optional, dignity is universal, and security and participation must not be denied to the Kurdish people, nor to the women who anchor Syria's future. Without justice, there will be also no peace, and without peace, there will be no future for all of Syrians. Thank you so much.